Let's talk about a massive shift that's happening right now in artificial intelligence. It's called the 2026 Agentic Flip, and it's happening so fast that the AI tools you're using today, well, they might already be obsolete.
I'm going to start with a pretty bold statement. The chatbot is dead. You know that simple reactive model where you ask a question and get an answer? Yeah, that's already a thing of the past. And that means the AI assistant you've gotten so used to is, from a design perspective, architecturally obsolete. And I'm not talking about a simple update or a new feature. I mean its entire foundation is being ripped out and replaced. Let's get into what's really going on. So what's replacing it? Well, this huge change has a name, the Agentic Flip. And it's all about moving from AI that just reacts to AI that's genuinely proactive. So what is it really? At its core, the Agentic Flip is pretty simple. It's the moment AI stops being a passive tool that just waits for your next command and starts becoming a proactive partner that pursues a goal all on its own. This right here, this is the world we've all been living in. It's a one-way street. The human gives a prompt, the AI gives a response, and then it just stops. It waits. In this reactive loop, you have to do all the work. You are the only engine. But with the Agentic Flip, the whole thing gets turned on its head. The flow is completely reversed. You give the AI a high-level goal, and it takes the initiative. The AI becomes the engine, and you become the director. See? It's a proactive loop. And this leads to a really powerful new way to think about it. We're moving away from chatbots and towards AI interns. Think about it. You don't tell an intern every single tiny step to take. You give them a project, an objective, and you trust them to figure out how to get it done. That's the new paradigm. Okay, so that's the big idea. But how does this actually work? To really get the difference between a chatbot and an agent, we have to pop the hood and look at their core architecture. So here's the old blueprint, the one for a legacy chatbot. It's a straight line. It gets an input, runs it through a language model, spits out an output, and that's it. It stops. The process is over. It's stateless, which is a technical way of saying it has no real memory or awareness of a bigger mission. When you put them side by side like this, the difference is just stark. A chatbot's job is just to respond. An agent's job is to achieve a goal. A chatbot's process is linear and then it ends. An agent's is cyclical. It keeps going. And most importantly, our role, the human's role, shifts from just being a prompter to being a manager. And this is the new blueprint. At the very heart of every AI agent is its engine, something called the perception action loop. You can see right away, it's not a straight line that just ends. It's a continuous cycle of planning, acting, and learning, and it goes on and on until the goal is finally met. Seriously, this perception action loop is the key to everything. It's the engine that powers autonomy. So let's break down exactly how it works, step by step. The whole loop can really be broken down into 3 key stages. First, the agent plans. Second, it uses tools to actually execute that plan. And third, it looks at the results and corrects its own course. So it all starts with planning. Let's say you give an agent a big goal, something like, find new market opportunities for my business. It's not just going to spit out a generic answer. No, first, it creates its own to-do list. It breaks that big goal down into smaller, actionable steps, like research top competitor reports or analyze industry financial data. Next up is tool use. And honestly, this is a total game changer. A chatbot is stuck inside its own little box. An agent, on the other hand, can actually do things out in the real digital world. It can browse the live web for up-to-the-minute info. It can connect to an API to book a flight for you, or it can even write and run its own code to analyze a complex dataset. And now for what might be the most critical stage of all, self-correction. So what happens when a link is broken or a website gives a 404 error? A chatbot would just fail and give up, but an agent can recognize the error, reason that its first approach didn't work, and then, all by itself, try a different strategy. It can navigate friction, just like a person would. So what does all this technical stuff mean for us? Well, this new architecture doesn't just change the AI, it completely changes our role in the whole process. The skills that were so valuable just yesterday are quickly being replaced by something new, something more strategic. On one side, you have prompt engineering, which is basically the art of talking to a single machine. That's quickly becoming a low-level common skill. The real future, the high-value skill, is over on the other side, workflow architecture.
This is the craft of designing and managing entire systems of autonomous agents to achieve really complex goals. And you know the craziest part is the speed of this change. It is just staggering. In 2023, it was all about chatbots. In 2024, the conversation shifted to custom specialized AIs. But by 2026, the entire game will be about designing and deploying these fully autonomous agentic workflows. And this right here is what that future looks like in practice. We're talking about multi-agent systems. Some people call them swarms. Instead of having one AI that tries to do everything, you'll build and deploy whole teams of specialized agents. You might have a researcher agent that just gathers data, a critic agent that fact-checks and challenges it, and an orchestrator agent that manages the whole project. These swarms of agents, they're not just a neat new tool. They represent the birth of a brand new silicon workforce. And this is going to fundamentally redefine our entire relationship with work itself. And you know what? This shift is basically a promotion for humanity. As these agents take over the microtasks, the actual doing, our value moves up the chain. We stop being the doers and we become the directors. Our jobs become about macro strategy, about ethics, about vision. We're not just using the tools anymore. We're designing the entire city. And look, this isn't some far-off science fiction future. It's already happening. In finance, agents are moving way beyond just showing you a dashboard. They're proactively hedging risk based on live market signals. In healthcare, they're monitoring patient data in real time to suggest interventions before a crisis can even happen. The key word in all of this is proactive. So, the chatbot taught us how to talk to machines, but that era is officially over. We're now entering the age of the autonomous digital worker. And that means the most important question is no longer, how should I word this prompt? The real question we all have to ask ourselves now is, what goals are you brave enough to delegate?